No woman can ignore these 8 good morning texts. High-value men, modern Stoic. The way to love anything is to realize that it may be lost. G.K. Chesterton. Now picture this. She opens her eyes, stretches, and instinctively reaches for her phone. The first thing she sees is your message, and not just a lazy good morning or a string of emojis. No, it's a message that stirs something in her. A spark, a smile, a pull she can't explain. That right there is the power of intention. High-value men don't just send messages. They create moments. They plant seeds in her mind that grow all day long. Let me ask you this. Have you ever sent a good morning text and then sat there, waiting, watching the screen, wondering if she'll respond, wondering if it even landed? You're not alone. The truth is, most men unknowingly make weak openings. They go through the motions. Good morning, hope you slept well. Harmless? Yes. Memorable? No. But now imagine having 7 crafted texts, each one designed to intrigue her, captivate her, and elevate her perception of you. These aren't random lines. They're rooted in timeless principles of human psychology. And one of the most magnetic forces you can harness? Mystery. You see, mystery isn't about playing games. It's about triggering curiosity. It's about sending a message that doesn't just say, "I'm thinking of you," but makes her want to think about you all day long. The difference is subtle, but the impact, profound. So if you're ready to move beyond generic messages and step into the mindset of a high-value man, a man of depth, confidence, and calm control, then let's get into the first of these 7 powerful texts that no woman can ignore. 1. You won't believe the dream I had about you last night. When you send a good morning text that says something like, "Good morning, you won't believe the dream I had about you last night," you're not just greeting her, you're unlocking a powerful psychological trigger that lingers in her mind throughout the day. That kind of message opens a loop, an unfinished story, leaving her curious, maybe even slightly restless, wondering what exactly you dreamed. And that's exactly the point. As a high-value man with a modern Stoic mindset, you don't throw your cards on the table all at once. You let your silence speak, your words intrigue, and your restraint captivate. In the words of Seneca, it is the power of the mind to be unconquerable. Stoicism teaches emotional discipline, the kind that makes a man magnetic without even trying. He doesn't chase, he attracts. He doesn't overshare, he communicates with intention. Think about it. In today's fast-paced world, where attention spans are shrinking and people are addicted to oversharing every little detail on social media, being the man who says just enough to spark curiosity is not only refreshing, it's rare. High-value men master the art of subtlety because they understand that true connection doesn't come from flooding someone with attention, but from leaving space for desire, space for imagination, and space for her to lean in. Picture this. You send a short, clever message that hints at a story or an emotion, and then you disappear for a while, not to play games, but because you're busy mastering your life. That space you leave behind becomes her playground of thought. She replays the message. She wonders about your dream. She thinks about you, and you become the mental puzzle she wants to solve. As the great philosopher Blaise Pascal once said, "The heart has its reasons which reason knows not." Women are drawn to mystery, not because they're irrational, but because they're emotionally intuitive. They connect not just to your words, but to the emotional experience behind them. And when you give her something to feel, instead of just something to read, you become unforgettable. In today's digital age, where people share their every move, high-value men stand apart by being intentional. Think about the people you follow online. Those who post everything fade into the background. But the ones who share sparingly, strategically, those are the ones who draw attention. It's the same in relationships. A modern Stoic understands timing, restraint, and the silent power of self-respect. When you withhold just enough, you create a gap that pulls her in. And the truth is, no woman forgets a man who knows how to make her feel without saying too much. You don't need to be poetic or overly romantic. You just need to be real, intentional, and quietly confident. Send a text like, "Something about today reminds me of you. I'll tell you later." And watch how her mind lights up. That's not manipulation, it's mastery. It's understanding the emotional rhythm between two people and playing the notes with grace. Remember, gentlemen, a good morning text isn't just about saying hello. It's a subtle moment of connection, a doorway to emotional intimacy, and a canvas for curiosity. When done right, it's not just read, it's felt. And women remember how you make them feel. So ask yourself, am I sending a text or am I sending an experience? As Marcus Aurelius once advised, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Be the kind of man whose presence lingers in her thoughts. Be the story she replays in her mind. And most importantly, be the one who understands that mystery, when rooted in authenticity, is irresistible. 2. I hope today brings you closer to your goals. Instead of sending a simple, generic good morning, what if you crafted a message that showed genuine care and thoughtfulness? Women, with their naturally emotional depth, seek connection. By showing you're interested in what truly matters to her, you set yourself apart as a high-value man. Imagine waking up and receiving this message. Good morning. I hope today brings you closer to your goals. What's something you're dreaming of achieving right now? This text does more than wish her a good day. It opens up a space for meaningful conversation about her ambitions, her passions, and what makes her tick. It goes beyond surface-level chatter, inviting her to share more of herself, which creates a bond that runs deeper than most men realize. One friend of mine, a man who practices a Stoic mindset, learned this the hard way. He used to flood women with compliments, trying to impress them with his accomplishments. But it wasn't until he shifted his approach, taking a moment each day to ask about their thoughts, feelings, and dreams, that he truly saw a change. A woman who once seemed distant began opening up, eager to share more because she felt understood. He stopped focusing on what he could get from her and started caring about who she really was. Have you ever thought about how a single thoughtful question could lead to a meaningful conversation? That's the power of intentional communication. This is not about overwhelming her with attention, but about showing that you're invested in her as a person. It's about being present and letting the conversation unfold naturally, just like in Stoicism, where focus and care are given to the things that matter most in your path as a high-value man. These thoughtful messages can turn everyday texts into moments of genuine connection and growth. So, are you ready to become a high-value man? If you are ready, comment, "I am ready, I am a high-value man." Next time you pick up your phone to send a good morning text, ask yourself, how do you want to make her feel? What kind of impact do you want to leave on her day? The secret to winning her heart isn't in grand gestures, but in the small, intentional actions that make her feel seen and valued. Win Stoic, and you'll find that the quality of your connections far outweighs the quantity. 3. If you could be anywhere in the world right now, where would you be? The third good morning text isn't just a message. It's a weapon of mass influence, a tool that separates the ordinary man from the high-value one. This isn't about flirting. It's about leading. It's about igniting her imagination and making sure the first person on her mind when she opens her eyes is you. You want to capture her attention, stimulate her mind, dominate her thoughts. Text her this. Good morning. If you could be anywhere in the world right now, where would you be? You see, it's not just a question. It's an invitation. An invitation into a world where you're not just another man, you're the architect of her fantasies. This simple prompt pulls her away from the ordinary and forces her to dream. And when she dreams with you in the frame, you win. You're not just texting, you're planting the seed of a shared world where you matter. High-value men know this truth. Physical attraction may spark the fire, but mental stimulation fuels the flame. The modern Stoic man understands. Conversations that engage her soul last longer than compliments on her looks. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." So ask yourself, what kind of thoughts are you planting in her mind? When she responds to that question, when she opens her heart and shares her vision, you're not just exchanging words. You're creating emotional intimacy. You're shaping a bond. That's Stoic strategy in action. Deep, focused, effective. It's not noise. It's power. And now take it further. 4. Your laugh, it lights up any room. Your laugh, it lights up any room. This one strikes her core. It's about wonder, mystery, that unspoken element that keeps her leaning in. Try this. You know what I admire most about you? Your laugh, it lights up any room. Read that again. Slowly. Because this isn't about flattery. It's about anchoring a powerful emotion. That single line will echo in her mind all day. Why? Because it's rare. Because it's precise. Because it paints a picture of her at her best and links it to you. While other men fight for her attention with empty words, you're slipping under the radar and lodging yourself deep in her subconscious. Marcus Aurelius reminded us again, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. When she starts her day, thinking about how you see her, how you feel her presence, you become part of her internal dialogue. That's not just attraction, that's psychological dominance. You're using subtlety, suggestion, and sincerity to stand out in a world of surface-level conversations. That's what Stoicism teaches: intentional speech, composed energy, and powerful presence. Modern life is full of noise, full of men trying to impress without direction. But you're calculated, you're calm, you're decisive. You send messages that move her, that wake her up emotionally, that make her want more. You're not chasing, you're leading. You don't beg for attention, you command it, and in doing so, you become unforgettable. So the next time you reach for your phone, don't settle for weak greetings. Craft an experience, leave a mental imprint, build anticipation. Because high-value men don't just say good morning, they own the morning. If this message woke something up inside you, if you now realize just how powerful your words can be, then it's time to act. Comment below with the quote that hit you hardest. Was it Marcus Aurelius? Was it the emotional trigger line? Let me know. And if you want more tools to master the game of influence, subscribe right now. Like the video to lock this message into your mind. And remember, no woman can ignore a man who knows how to make her feel something she can't explain. Be that man. Be unforgettable. If this message woke something up inside you, if you now understand the power of intentional words and calm masculine presence, then don't just watch. Act. Like this video to lock in the lesson. Share it with a man who needs to stop chasing and start leading. And subscribe for more Stoic wisdom made for modern kings. Comment to remember, my words create emotional impact. Drop that affirmation in the comments to declare your presence. Let the world know you're not just sending texts. You're sending energy. You're not chasing, you're leading. You're not forgettable. You're unforgettable. Let's go. 5. You know what I admire most about you? Let me tell you something that most men overlook in the rush of modern life. There's a powerful, almost magnetic way to start the day right. Not just for you, but for the woman you're thinking of. And it all begins with the sixth good morning message, the one crafted with subtle, sincere, and thoughtful compliments. Now, we're not talking about the surface level stuff, the tired lines like, "You're beautiful," or "You're so hot." Those get lost in the noise because any man can say them. But a high-value man, a modern Stoic, understands that the compliment must strike deeper. It must whisper something that speaks directly to the heart, something that feels real. Think about sending a message like, "Good morning. You know what I admire most about you? Your laugh. It lights up any room." That right there, that's power wrapped in simplicity. Because you're not just complimenting her smile or her outfit. You're acknowledging something intangible, something that makes her who she is. Her laugh isn't just a sound, it's her joy, her presence, her ability to change the emotional tone of a space without even realizing it. And here's the brilliance behind it. As Epictetus once reminded us, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. This is where most men fail. They talk, they flatter, they perform. But the Stoic man, he observes, he listens, he notices, he understands that true connection isn't built on noise, but on presence. The act of observing a woman's laugh and choosing that as the center of your compliment shows that you've been paying attention, not just to her, but to her spirit. And that's what modern women crave more than empty praise. They want to be seen, not through the lens of lust or surface beauty, but through a man who's present enough to recognize who they truly are. So, ask yourself this. When was the last time you complimented someone in a way that made them pause, that made them feel deeply understood, not just admired? That is your challenge. That is your edge. In the chaos of today's fast-paced swipe-left world, most people are starving for authenticity. Stoicism teaches us to anchor ourselves in the moment, to engage life and people with intention and integrity. Applying this philosophy to how you communicate, especially in something as simple as a morning text, is where the real transformation begins. The modern high-value man doesn't flood her inbox with meaningless words. He sends a single, intentional message that makes her stop, smile, and feel that rare thing, genuine connection. Because to her, that one well-crafted line says more than 100 emojis or empty hearts ever could. It says, "I see you, I notice you, and I value the way you show up in the world." This is where your power lies, not in having the right pickup line, but in becoming the kind of man who doesn't need one. So the next time you reach for your phone in the early morning light, don't just type out something for the sake of it. Think, observe, reflect, and ask yourself, what do I truly admire about her that no one else has probably noticed? Then say that. Make her feel like the only woman on earth because you've seen something in her that even she may have forgotten. In doing so, you embody the timeless strength of Stoicism, presence, depth, and quiet mastery. And I promise you, no woman, none, can ignore that kind of message. 6. You know what I admire most about you? Your laugh. It lights up any room. Let me tell you, there's a powerful way to start the day off right, and it's with the sixth good morning message, one that's built around subtle, thoughtful compliments. No woman can resist a compliment when it feels genuine and personal, but here's the catch. It has to go beyond the surface. You see, too many people throw around generic compliments thinking that's enough to capture someone's attention, but as a high-value man, you've got to dig deeper. Picture this. Good morning. You know what I admire most about you? Your laugh, it lights up any room. It's simple, but here's why it works. It's not about her looks or something fleeting. By choosing her laugh, you're honing in on something real, something that shows you've been paying attention. Stoic life lessons teach us that the little things are often the most powerful. As Epictetus said, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. Listening carefully, paying attention, and valuing her laughter means you see her beyond appearances. So, ask yourself, when was the last time you really noticed something unique about someone you care about? A good compliment is not just flattery. It's about showing that you truly see and appreciate the essence of a person. And that's what builds a strong connection. This is where Stoicism comes in. Remaining mindful, staying in the present, and being aware of what is real and meaningful. So what is Stoicism in action? It's about being the kind of man who knows that noticing and valuing the small details in others is a sign of true character. Think about it. How many people can really say they pay attention to the unique details that define others? By doing this, you set yourself apart. So, next time you send that good morning text, remember to choose your words with intention. How will you make her feel seen today? If you found this valuable, like the video, comment below, and share it with a man who needs to hear this. Don't forget to subscribe for more high-value wisdom. Comment to remember. A real man notices the details others ignore. Let that be your reminder. The difference is always in the details. 7. I was just thinking about that day we spent at the park. One of the most underrated but profoundly effective tools in the arsenal of a high-value man, especially one rooted in the Stoic mindset, is the ability to awaken a woman's emotions through the subtle power of a well-thought-out good morning message. This isn't just about sending a quick GM or a smiley face. It's about crafting words that create resonance, stir memory, and build emotional depth. Take, for example, the 5th type of message, the nostalgic text that recalls a meaningful shared moment. Instead of something generic, say, "Good morning. I was just thinking about that day we spent at the park. It was such an amazing time. What do you say we relive that moment?" On the surface, it may seem like a sweet note, but underneath, it's a masterstroke of emotional intelligence. You're not just reminding her of an experience, you're reigniting the feeling she had during that moment. The laughter, the warmth, the safety, the joy. In that single message, you become more than a man. You become a memory worth holding on to. Nostalgia, after all, is a bridge between the past and the present. As the philosopher Søren Kierkegaard once said, "Life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards." When you remind her of a cherished memory, you awaken a sense of emotional closeness that naturally makes her crave more of what you offer. And in a world that rarely slows down, where digital noise overwhelms heartfelt expression, your message becomes a sacred pause, an oasis of emotional truth. This isn't about manipulation. It's about mastery. Mastery of presence, of emotional timing, of connection. As a modern Stoic man, you understand that influence isn't loud. It's quiet, intentional, and deeply felt. You're not trying to impress her with what you have. You're reminding her of who she becomes when she's with you. Let that sink in. And if you're wondering how relevant this is in today's age of fast texting and fleeting attention, think about this. When was the last time someone made you stop and smile by recalling something beautiful from the past? That feeling, right there, is what you're gifting her. Emotional value always outweighs material flash. So the next time you wake up, don't just say, "Good morning." Say something that brings her heart home to you. Remember, meaningful connection isn't built on how much you say, but how deeply what you say is felt. As Maya Angelou famously said, "People will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." And if this resonated with you, if it sparked a memory of your own, I invite you to share it in the comments, because sometimes what you say might be exactly what another man needs to hear. 8. I had the craziest dream last night. I was a superhero, and guess who I saved? The eighth message you send should be centered around humor, because starting her day with a smile not only creates a playful vibe, but also subtly demonstrates that you, as a high-value man, don't take life too seriously. Humor is a powerful tool in any relationship, and it helps to show that while you carry the Stoic mindset, you're not rigid or overly serious. A simple message like, "Good morning, I had the craziest dream last night. I was a superhero, and guess who I saved?" achieves two things. First, it immediately captures her curiosity. She might wonder, why was he dreaming about being a superhero? What happened next? Which is exactly what you want. Second, it lightens the mood, associating you with fun and positivity right from the start of her day. These are qualities women admire in high-value men. Men who can handle life's challenges with grace, but still know how to bring joy into someone else's day. Think about modern relationships, where many conversations, especially early on, are filled with formality or surface-level pleasantries. A good morning text with a humorous twist cuts through that. For instance, I know a guy who worked long hours in a demanding job. Every morning, he'd send his girlfriend a witty message, something playful, a little absurd even, but it always had the same effect. She'd laugh, reply eagerly, and it kept their bond strong even when they were both busy. It wasn't just the words themselves, it was the fact that he stood out from everyone else. Where other men might send a simple good morning, he sent something that created a spark, something memorable. He understood that while being serious has its place, showing that you can take things lightly and bring a sense of humor into everyday moments is an attractive quality. It made her look forward to his texts each morning. And that's the secret here. Now take a moment to consider. When was the last time you really made someone laugh with just a few words? Humor is not just about being funny for the sake of it. It's about building a connection and easing any tension or formalities that may exist. When you can make someone smile or laugh, especially first thing in the morning, you're associating yourself with positive feelings. And as a high-value man with a Stoic mindset, this becomes part of your strategy. Balance. You balance strength with humor, seriousness with lightness, and wisdom with playfulness. A woman who starts her day laughing because of you is already feeling positive emotions, and these emotions will be linked back to you. You'll be the one who made her day just a little bit better, the man who can handle life's seriousness, but also knows how to enjoy the lighter side of it. Ask yourself, are you integrating humor into your conversations effectively, or are your messages too straightforward and bland? Women are drawn to men who can engage them emotionally, and humor is a direct line to that engagement. It helps her relax, opens up more meaningful conversations, and creates an environment where she feels free to be herself. But it's not just about making her laugh. It's about establishing yourself as the kind of man who can navigate life with both seriousness and joy. That's the essence of the Stoic mindset. Understanding life's challenges while also appreciating the moments of lightness. The next time you're crafting that good morning text, consider how you can stand out. Be the man who can make her smile effortlessly. The man whose text she looks forward to every morning, because it's not just a routine. It's a highlight of her day. And remember, the lesson here is not just to send any funny message. It's about being intentional, understanding how humor fits into your overall approach as a high-value man, and using it to build deeper connections in your interactions. If you agree with the above point of view, please comment, "Yes, I agree." If not, you can comment, "I don't think so." I look forward to hearing your thoughts. And there you have it. 7 powerful good morning texts that no woman can ignore when they come from a high-value man who understands modern Stoic wisdom. If this video helped you or gave you something to think about, don't forget to hit that like button, share it with a brother who needs this, and subscribe so you never miss out on more content like this. Got something on your mind? Drop a comment below. Whether you agree, disagree, or just want to share your own experience, this is your space to speak up. I read every comment, and I always appreciate hearing what you think. Thanks for watching, and remember, the way you start her morning says everything about the kind of man you are. Stay calm, stay sharp, stay stoic. See you in the next one.